Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, November 3, 2023. The distribution of black tanks to promote water harvesting in rural communities will commence next week. This is being done under the pilot phase of the Rural Water Household Resilience Program, targeting communities that are predominantly in the eastern part of the country. 3,000 tanks with a capacity of 400 gallons each will be distributed in the constituencies that were hardest hit by the drought in the first 6 months of this year. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
It is important, Mr. Speaker, that these tanks will be distributed in areas which are outside of the utility footprint of the NWC, or in areas where infrastructure is significantly degraded and unable to provide predictable water supply. Each location that a tank is installed will be mapped and geotagged to ensure accountability, but also to ensure we start the process of properly assessing our true national storage capacity for water.
Grant funding of $60 million is being provided by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, for purchasing the tanks. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, through Rural Water Supply Limited, will grant $250 million to facilitate coordination of the project and the deployment of water harvesting systems and tanks. 10 young persons from each of the constituencies will be trained by the Heart NSTA Trust to do the installations and will receive a stipend for their work during the project. The pilot phase of the initiative is expected to be completed by the end of December, after which the program will be expanded to include all rural constituencies. During Tuesday's parliamentary sitting, Prime Minister Holness also tabled the National Water Resources Master Plan for Jamaica and the Rainwater Harvesting Guidelines. The House of Representatives has approved legislation supporting government's policy to eliminate GCT on the importation of live horses to provide better quality breeding stock and stimulate growth in the horse racing industry. The General Consumption Tax Amendment of Schedules No. 2, Order 2023, was passed during Wednesday's sitting of the House. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced the revenue measure earlier this year, which also calls for the elimination of GCT on the importation of small ruminants and pigs to facilitate improvement in the local breeding stock.
The measure with respect to small ruminants and pigs was made permanent by way of a July 19, 2023 GCT order. However, with respect to live horses, due to a number of tariff codes that represent horses on our local market, only a part of the measure was implemented by way of that order. Today, I seek to make the order with respect to these remaining tariff codes permanent.
Minister Clark says encouraging the importation of better quality horses will foster the sustainable development of Jamaica's racing sector. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green is encouraging Jamaicans to eat more local produce as the ministry celebrates Eat Jamaica Month in November. Eat Jamaica Month is an initiative of the Agriculture Ministry and the Jamaica Agricultural Society to boost support for local farmers. During this week's post-cabinet press briefing, Minister Green emphasized the necessity of assisting local farmers, particularly when natural calamities threaten their livelihoods.
We must support our local farmers, fishers, and agripreneurs by eating Jamaican. This is even more important this year. Our farmers and fishers have gone through a most difficult time. In fact, our farmers have faced the most difficult drought ever recorded in the history of our country. Now more than ever, our fishers and farmers need our support.
He goes on to say that eating Jamaican is also about raising awareness of the health benefits of local foods.
Eat Jamaican Month helps us to drive food security, which is part of our new face of food strategy, as it attempts to change our consumption patterns from a diet of largely imports to that of local production.
This year's Eat Jamaica Day will be held on November 24 with a ceremonial event taking place at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, in Portland. All parishes continue to observe an increase in dengue cases in 2023 compared to 2022, as the Health Ministry reports almost 3,000 suspected, presumed, and confirmed cases as of November 1. 694 of the cases are confirmed, with dengue type 2 continuing to be the dominant strain. Of the suspected cases, Kingston and St. Andrew combined is reporting the highest number, 695. However, St. Thomas maintains the highest case rate of 363.4 per 100,000 population, followed by Portland at 211.2 per 100,000 and Trelawney with 152 per 100,000. The highest number of cases continue to be observed in the 5 to 14-year-old age cohort at a rate of 317.4 cases per 100,000. There are now 7 suspected and 2 confirmed dengue-related deaths. The Ministry of Health is again reminding members of the public to protect themselves by monitoring water storage containers for mosquito breeding, keeping their surroundings free of debris, and destroying or treating potential mosquito breeding sites. Persons should also wear protective clothing and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. Dengue fever is a mosquito-borne disease that is usually a mild illness but can progress to severe dengue, which may result in organ failure as well as bleeding and severe fluid depletion that can lead to shock and death. The recommended treatment for the fever is acetaminophen or paracetamol. Persons should not use aspirin, diclofenac, ibuprofen, or any of the medications or pain relievers known as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. When used to treat the fever in dengue, these drugs have been known to increase the severity of the disease. Persons experiencing fever, vomiting, severe abdominal pain, bleeding under the skin, feeling very weak, or getting confused are to seek immediate medical attention. And finally, the Electoral Office of Jamaica EOJ is appealing for citizens to apply to become election day workers. This comes as the country anticipates the local government election, which by law is due on or before February 28, 2024. Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says the EOJ is in preparation mode and is looking to recruit approximately 10,000 people to assist with the process.
We have started that process of recruitment. We continue and we are embarked upon training. But there's still a number of persons that can still be a part of the process, that even individuals who are prepared to assist us and be a part of the process. On election day, they can so apply to perform whichever role that is available.
Available positions include presiding officers, poll clerks, supervisors, and polling station security assistants, otherwise called one-day police officers. The Director of Elections says individuals are also being recruited to provide logistical support. There are also opportunities for short-term employment with the EOJ.
We recruit persons to assist us in the IT department, in the field department, in the offices, etc., to undertake additional work that is required to be done before and after election day.
Those interested are asked to visit any EOJ constituency office to complete the application form, which will then be returned to the head office in Kingston for processing. Eligible persons must be 18 years or older and have at least a secondary level education. A valid identification card and tax registration number, TRN, are also required. All election day workers will be trained and compensated. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.